Hey everyone, I want to talk you through how to do the outline now where you're getting ready to do your speech. This is a basic process that you can use really for any kind of speech. It's just a basic template. So I'm going to talk you through how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is start out in Canvas, go to our course, okay? And in the course, let me back up here just a bit. I'll show you. In the course, we have files, and from files, you're going to want to go to speech templates. And I have the speech template opened up already. So here are the outline guidelines. I'm going to click on that. And you can use this for any speech. Okay. Then I'm going to download it so we can get a better look at it and manipulate it a little bit. Okay, so my directions are inserted into this template to kind of give you a clue what you're supposed to do. Just make sure that you take off all of my directions before you turn it in to me, okay? So the requirements, your outlines need to be typed, no exceptions. All your citations or quotes or facts that require documentation must be cited according to MLA guidelines and highlighted within your outline itself, okay? So here's an example of a template. Okay, for example, I have attention getter, some shocking story, fact, or example that pulls the reader in and makes them want to read more. Obviously, you're going to change that. You're going to like take that out and just write something like YouTube or the actual URL link right there. Okay, so you can modify this, make it your own. What I would recommend when you start this is to go ahead and turn the entire template, just change it to red. Okay, then as you start to put your own thoughts into there, let's say you're doing it on Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Maybe you have a YouTube video that reenacts shooting. Okay, and then you might even want to put a link there so that it's easy access for you. Okay, so once you've turned this attention getter into your own, turn your font back to black. Now you can visually see, oh, I've got that part done. Now I can work on something else. Okay, when your outline is totally black instead of red, you're done. That's kind of how it works. So visually, it's a nice way to kind of keep track. Using a template and typing over the top of it will allow you to keep the formatting that's already there for you, and you don't have to rethink it. So it's kind of like starting without a blank page because you've already got some work done. Okay, so that's the essence of how we're going to do that. Now I want to show you, I have a student sample pulled up here that I want to share with you. Okay, this is an example of a completed one. This is for a research paper, but it's essentially the same template. Okay, so she has an actual attention getter that's written out. You could have a written out attention getter as well for a speech. Okay, you have the advantage of using video if you're delivering a speech, but if you can also read an actual attention getter if that's what you want to do. Okay, so what I want to draw your attention here is she's got a citation in here. It says, according to the June 2011 National Geographic article, Too Young to Wed, The Secret World of Child Brides by Cynthia Gorney. Okay, so she has pointed out that she got this information right here in her attention getter from this source. She gives me the date, the publication, the title, and then also the author. Okay, so I realize that you may have sources that don't necessarily give you a title or don't necessarily give you an author, for example. That's fine. Then you just wouldn't put the by Cynthia Gorney there. You would just leave it as is. Okay, if the information that you're including in your outline matches up with what is listed on your works cited, then you're fine. I can see when I look at your works cited that there was no author for that article, so everything's in the right proper order if you don't have an author in your outline as well. Okay, so visually, this is what an outline is going to look like when it comes to me. It's got the actual citations written out word for word, okay, of what you're going to say in your speech, okay, according to with the date, the publication, the title, and the author, okay. I would also like you to highlight the important information that comes specifically from that source along with it. Okay, so there's at a glance what an outline would look like. You've got certain sections that are highlighted so that I can clearly see what is a citation and what is not. Okay, then back to our files. I want to show you another document that's important for you. It's called How Do I Cite Sources in My Speech? Okay, in this document, it takes you through various ways that you could possibly cite your sources. Okay, so when you're giving a speech, you need to cite them out loud. You need to actually say where you found the information, who wrote it, what's the name of the title, what's the publication. Okay, it's important because when you have the advantage of a written paper, you can just include it in a works cited and the reader can flip to that. But when you're speaking, you need to be able to give that information verbally so that you have credibility with your audience immediately just based on what you're saying. All right, so every oral citation should have the name of the author, the publication and date, and the title of the work. If you don't have it all, you use as much as you can. Okay? So then it works a little bit like a puzzle. So here is an example. Bill Smith, okay, publication date December 24th, 2003. The title is The Gift of MasterCard. Okay, the reference is New York Times. Okay, and then here's the blip of information. Most American households have a minimum of $13,000 in credit card debt. All right, so then you can work it out however you want so that you don't always sound like you're delivering exactly the same way and sounds somewhat forced or robotic. So, for example, you could go with Bill Smith in his December 24th, 2003 New York Times article entitled The Gift of the MasterCard stated that most American households have a minimum of $13,000 in credit card debt. Okay, so they led with the author, followed by the date, the publication, the title, and then the fact. The next one does it slightly differently. The December 24th, 2003 New York Times included an article by Bill Smith entitled The Gift of the MasterCard. In it, Smith reports that most American households have a minimum of $13,000 in credit card debt. There they separated it into two sentences, which is fine as well. Another one, an article entitled The Gift of the MasterCard, written by Bill Smith for the December 24th, 2003 New York Times, states that most American households have a minimum of $13,000 in credit card debt. Finally, the New York Times December 24th, 2003 issue included an article entitled The Gift of the MasterCard. In it, author Bill Smith writes about the struggle Americans have with their credit cards. In fact, he reported that most American households have a minimum of $13,000 in credit card debt. Okay, so you can see there's a variety of ways that you could possibly include these citations into your speech. Your requirement is that you cite all four of your sources at a minimum, okay? Each of them one time. Now, if you have, let's say you have several different facts from this same article that you want to include within your speech, and they aren't necessarily all right next to each other. After you've fully stated it the first time, when you come back to that article another time later in your speech, you can say, additionally, from Bill Smith's article, such and such, whatever that information might be. You don't have to give the full oral citation more than once within the speech. Just give us a keyword. You could reference the New York Times article if that's the only one that there is, or the author's name or the title, just to give us a clue of which article this is coming from, and to save yourself from sounding like you're being very repetitive by citing the entire oral source citation for a second time. Okay, I hope that has helped you and it gives you an idea of where we're going with this. Good luck. Your outline and works cited are due on Friday before the end of the block. If you want the opportunity for possibly redoing the speech, that needs to be turned in on time on Friday. If you're late with the outline and works cited, you forfeit your opportunity to possibly redo the speech. Thanks, and I'll see you later.